Hello. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much.
good morning. Oh,
Okay, great, everyone. So, thank you, everyone. So, our participant is together right now. Yes. Good morning. Hope you are great today. And yes, by the way, it's our technical week. Technical week. So, our members will present the technical or the newest technology stuff. So yes, enjoy. And today it should be Mr.
Naseath.
Yes, Mr. Naseath. So yes, hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Okay. So you see my screen?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So today I'm going to present something. It's not latest technology. Uh, it's about Django, and that create to do this app using Django. So and this won't be the host to do this app. It's kind of like the Django grad. Create, read, update, and delete. So requirement for this will be Python 3 pipe, and instead of install Python 3 and pipe on our real machines or Vagrant, we will use Docker, and we will install Django and other module. We will using the requirement.tt file. Actually, we can install using pipe, and we can also use the requirement.tt. And in this presentation, we will use requirement.tt, and we will create the project, we will create app, and we will write the code. And that's all. So now we have nothing. So let's start. Okay. So give me 1 minute. Okay, so we will create our working directory. So, and so we will use Docker. We will create a Docker file.
We don't hear you, Siddharth.
Okay. So in the Docker file, we will use Python 3.9, and we will make a directory demo in our Docker image, and we will copy everything to our image, and we install some things from the requirement.tt.
Hello, Naseath. Do you hear me?
So do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Right now, I can only see your browser tab.
Oh, only my browser?
Yeah.
What the heck? Let me share my screen again. Maybe something is not right.
Maybe Naseath do not want to expose the code.
Stop sharing. Okay. So let me share my screen again. Okay. So you see both the browser and the terminal.
Yes,
Yes.
see both.
Oh, okay, good. So we will start with Dockerfile. So in Dockerfile, we use Python image, and we will install everything from the requirement.txt, and we will copy our current directory into the Dockerfile directory demo. So it start like that. And I am going to create the Docker Compose. So let's do like this. CD our, okay, we are in working directory, and here we have, now we only have Docker file. So maybe let me do like this. We only have Docker file. Now I'm going to create Docker Compose. And I copy from my snippet because to write everything again, it will take a lot of time. So in the Docker Compose, we will build our image, and at the end, we will run this command. For Django, to start the test server, we run command python manage.py run server, and the IP and then the port. And our volume is our working directory, and we use this port 8181. And I save the Docker Compose. So we have another file here, Docker Compose. And the first module we need only Django. So we create our requirements .txt, and we need Django modules. So Django now is already version 4, but we use version 3 because maybe version 4 is not yet stable. But anyway, now we use version 3. So we have Django module. So now we have enough environment. We have a Docker file, Docker Compose, and requirement.txt file. So, and in requirement.txt, we have Django. So we can start to create Django project. So because we use Docker, so we will run all the command from Docker. So we do Docker Compose runs, our container name is web, and Django admin starts project. We call our project demo and put it here. It maybe takes some time. Some things exist because I used to run this image before, so it exists, but anyway, it will reinstall everything again. Okay, so it's done. So after we create Django project, we see we have our project demo, and in the project we have some file includes, and we have manage.py. So manage.py is the important file to run all the necessary Django command. We will use manage.py in next few minutes. And setting.py is where we store all the setting and configuration. And the UL is where we map the user to the specific things in our Django application to the UL. So when user access www.abc.com.something, it will go to UL, and the UL is route user to our application where we define in the UL. And in the WSGI is where it's short for web server gateway interface. So when we work with production, we will need to configure WSGI so that our server and Django can communicate with each other. But for this, we will not work with WSGI. And if you go to setting, let's have a quick look at setting. It's in demo setting. This is common. So we have something like debug through for test environment, and for production we can change to false, and we have allow host. By default it allow to none. If it's allow to none, we can access nothing. And we have install app. It's some pre-configuration. We have admin, we have auth, and some more. This is where we integrate our app to our Django project. So when we have a new app, we need to add our app to here. And we have middleware, we have URL con, we have templates, we have database. So by default, Django use SQLite. It's or maybe we say no SQL. So we can use SQLite for our test environment, for our development. And for production, we will change this to something else, MySQL or Postgres SQL or anything. But for test environment, SQLite will onboard us fast to code. And yes, so we go back. So as we already have the project, now we can up our container. So if I do the Docker PS, we have no container yet. We can up our container. So when we up our container, it will run this command. So we can access to our sites. Docker compose up. So now we should be able to access to our sites. But we have this allow host because in the setting.py we have allow none. So we need to allow something. Demo setting.py allow. If it's production, we need to allow specific URL. Our domain something dot something. But for test, we can just allow everything. So we can just allow everything. So we can access from whichever URL. So we have Django skeletons project up and running, and by default Django comes with the backend with admin. We should be able to access to admin and see because as we see here in the setting.py install app, we see there are some app already exist, admin, auth, and some more. So you can access to the admin. But before we can access to the admin, we have to before we can access to the admin, we need to do the migration, because otherwise there's no SQL record, there's no table, nothing in the database. So we need to run migrate. So we have to run. Now I'm still in the same directory. I just opened the multi-terminal, so it's easy to do things. So we run maybe, how do I make it? Okay, or from here. So we do Docker compose exec web Python's manage.py and migrate. We need to migrate. So after we migrate, it will generate some pre-table so that we can access our admin. But before that, we also need to create user, super user, create super user, roots or whatever. So let's say admin, user admin, email admin at something.com, password. Okay, so now we can use our user admin password. So we can access our backend and user. So we have user admin. Okay, so now let's create our app. So to create the app in the Django, we also use the same command, docker compose exec, because we are in Docker, and we run commands python manage.py and start app. Start app. We name our app whatever, but we don't name our app something like Django or test, because it can conflict with the Django framework itself, and it can conflict with Python's naming. So we name whatever, not Django, not test. So I will name it a demo. Okay. Oh, it's also conflict with our project. We have our project demo. So I will name our apps task. So we name our app task. So now we see we have another directory. We should have our directory here. Task. So in the task, we have init admin.py app migration model and view.py. So view is where we write our application logic or business logic, and test, if we want to do unit test, we can write in the test. For now, we don't need it. And model is where we write our, how do we say it? It's where we communicate from Django to database. So it's like, it's interpreter between the Django and database. We write our like what we want our application to have in the database. We will write in the model.py, and it will generate SQL query for us and make a database record for us like that. I don't know what is the formal term, but how it works is like that. What we want to have in the application, for example, our application should have for to-do list, we should have titles, details that add status of the task. We write it in the model, and then the model will translate into SQL query and create database table for us like that. So we start to write our app. I can. So now as we have our app task, we go to the, maybe I just remove this. Oh no, okay, just make it like this. So we have task, we go to the task, or it can be from here. So we can start to write our model. So I go to model, task model. So what we are going to do is we are going to create to-do list. So as we say, we will need what do you want to have in our to-do list? Oh, sorry. So what do we want to have in our to-do list? We want to have like title and detail and status. So I will add it. Maybe I also. Let me copy from my snippets. So from Django.db, we import model, and we start from this. So for our to-do list, we need to have our title, detail, status of the task, and we need to have owner. So who create that task? And so in here, for title, we use model.char field, and For detail, we use model.text field so that it can have a bigger text area to write the detail. And we have status and owner. We use foreign key, and it's foreign key from the user. So who create? We want to know who create that to-do list, that task. And for this one, we need to have something in the admin so that we can see that, for example, task title of the task. So we need to have this, or maybe we don't put this for now, or let's put it in advance. And so here we see we import many things. We import time zone, we import user, we import reverse. We import time zone because we have edit date. We use time zone, so we need to import time zone to be able to have time in our admin. When we create the task, we need to have time, and also we import user because we want to use user. We need to make foreign key to user model so that we know who create the task. And then we import reverse because after we do some operation in the view, we need to redirect to the, here we redirect to task list. So the reverse is used for this return reverse. Yeah, maybe we can understand more later. So for the model.py, we add what we want to have in our application. So I sell model. And then we can start to write our view. So I go to task view.py. So in the view, to work with our model, we need to call it. So we need to use import our model from task is our application task. So from task.models, we want to import our model class task. So if we see the task model, we have our model class task. So from task.model, task is our application. So from task.model, we want to import our model class task so that we can call our attribute from here, title, detail, anything from here. So, and then for now, we are going to use Django class-based view. In Django, we can write our logic using the function or use class-based view. Class-based view is like the pre-built code that easy for us to write medicine, but also it have some abstract. Abstract mean because it's pre-built, something in the background we don't know. It's abstract, but it's also easy for us to just use the class and have shortcode and everything's work. So we are going to use class-based view. So first, let's from Django.view generic, we import list view. So list view, it's from the, it's one of the class-based view. It has a list view, create view, detail view, delete view, and so because we import class-based view, list view, now we can list our things from the model. So I can, maybe I can just copy and paste. So we make a class, we name it whatever. So, but we just name it some name that is easy to understand. So it's a task list. We use list view, and the model name is task. So our model name is task. So task is this one. So we sell this. So by now we should be able to already not yet. So after we have our view, we should also create our work with our UL. So let me open this more. I'm not sure I have enough time or so let's work with UL. We go to the UL task. We need to create one. UL.py. So we have UL in the app and we have UL in the project. So we start with UL in the app. So from Django.ul, we need to import path. And then from task.view, we need to import the, because this maybe we need to import task list. And the UL pattern, we call our, so it's path to task list. So we have from task.view, we import task list. So task list is this one. And then we have task list.sview and we name it task list. So this name will be used later. When we work with the template, we will use this name there. So for now, we have UL for our task list. After we have UL in our app, we also need UL in our project. So we have our project demo, demo uls.py. Some comments we can just delete to have space. So this code is pre-built when we start our project. So we have UL to admin. That's why we can access admin here. So if we access what not exists, we will see the page not found. So we have our task. So yeah, but before we can go to our task, we need to import. Import includes. So we want people to, if they put the UL task, they can go to the task. So we include we need to include the task here. Include so we need to include task.ul. Task.ul, so that when we access task, it will know, it will go to find in the app task and look in the UL. So it will look in the app task and look in the UL. So what has in the UL? Then from the app UL, it will look for what has in the view. So we can see what in the task. But before we can work with our app task, first we need to add our task into the setting.py install app. So we have to go back to setting. So now I'm here. We go to our project demo setting.py and install app. We need to add our task here, our new app task here. So the name is task.app. Task config. So where do we have this name? it's from our task. Maybe I just this one. It's from our task app. We have the name from our task app, task config. So it's task.app.task config. So we save this one. After this, we should be able to access to our task from here. So now we can access to our task, but we need a template. We need a template to display what in the task. So in our task, we need to create a template. So I create a template. Okay, dear task template. And how Django work? In the template, we should create another directory, the same name as our app. So our app is task. So we will create a template task. And here it requires the file name task list, because our class is task is a list view. So this name here is the model class name underscore our view. So it's a list. So it's the template require name by default. It's a task list. So we create a task underscore list.html. Oh no, so it's directory. So first we create directory, and then we create the file. Task list.html, and we can put whatever here. So HTML, let's say ABC. So if we come here, we can say, you can see actually it should already work, but because we are because our Docker need to trigger these things, I will just need to resell this file, demos, settings. Okay, or I can just restart my Docker up again. Okay, let me check in the setting.py. Templates. Yeah, I just need to resell the file to trigger the change. Every settings is already good. We just need to re-trigger the change. Yeah, so now we have our ABC, but this is not the case. So our case, we want to, from our template, to display information from our model. So first of all, we go to admin. So in admin, before anything else, we can already import our model into admin page from our task. We can, so it's many things. So we go to task, admin. We can import our model here in the admin page so that we can see our task in the admin backend. So okay. Okay, so to import, first we need to from task dot models import task, and then we can register our task into admin. So we can start to register our task into admin. So I just remove this one. So we do admin dot site dot register. We can register our task. Okay, so it's typo, sorry. It's a task. Yeah. So now if we refresh this page, we can see task here. So we have task. Before we do anything else, we can import it into admin, and we can also play with it in the admin. So if I'm going to create a task, for example, update deployment scripts and details. Please update deployment script so that, and the date time is now, and status by default we use new, and owner admin itself, and it's a no such table, because anytime we create a model, we need to make migration and also migrate, so that it will generate table for us, the same as we do for our admin page at the beginning. So I'm out from this. Docker compose exec web Python manage.py make migration, and then we migrate. So it should be okay now. We create the task. Maybe just say 001. 001 detail is here. Okay.
Yes, you can share your.
Okay. So now you see my screen again. Yeah. So yes. Yeah, we make migration, and then we migrate. Now we should be able to create the task. So I create another task. 002 detail is here, and owner is admin itself. So we have two tasks, 001, 002, and we order. It's automatically ordered by the newest one on the top. So if we go to our front end again, and we go to task, so we want to be able to see 001, 002 here, our task. So to do this in our template, we can go to task templates, task list, and we can do like this, but maybe I just copy and paste to cell times. Task templates, task. But copy and paste, we lost some track. So maybe I can just rewrite things. So to get the value from our model from the template, we do like this. So for task in task list, so it's by default we can query our value from the model, because we use list view and the model name is the task, so we take it from task underscore list like this. So for task in task list, then we end our for loop. So our variable in the double query bracket like this, and so task, we want to see the title, so task.title. And if we also want to see the detail, we can also add task dot detail, but we only want to see title. So now we see 001, 002. But we can also make it more organized by HTML things. So how to make it more organized? We can use UL or this. So in this case, can make it more organized. But because some function, some feature not yet existed, this one will not work. So I remove something. Title. So we put it in the pay tag. I remove this. Delete. And detail. We don't have detail yet. And we don't have create view also. Okay, so just to make things organized. So we can put it like from top to bottom. So we have task 1, task 2, task 3, and I think we ran out of time. So we can also create more class, like maybe I can just show a brief like this. So Vim's task view. Nice. So you see my screen? You still see my terminal?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So when we want to create the detail view, we can just add like the detail view, update view, and create view, delete view, and we can work more with our detail task, or to delete the task, or to update the task. And yeah, I think I can make it on time, but it's too far from the from what I expect. So let me end it here. And if you have any question, maybe we can continue the next time. That's all for this week. So in conclusion, I think with Django, we can build our application. It's like it takes less time, and we can build our web app with less time, because it's come with some built-in the code, and also many module we can use. And also there are many community, like many contributor to this framework. So and if even the like not experienced developer can also learns about Django and start to build a project with it. It will give us like take less time to be on board and build some software using the Django. Yeah, and that's all from me. So if you have question, please. That's all. Do you hear me?
Yes, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Naseath, for your time. And yes, relate to Django framework, it's really interesting if we want to build a dynamic website. Yes, so do we have any question, everyone?
It's not question, but let me add one more comment. Just a comment. Yeah, it's a really great presentation, and thank you so much for that knowledge sharing. I want to add one more good point about this framework, Django. We can also manage the database structure in the code, in the model. If we make a simple application from scratch, we may make a database table manually, and we can back up that SQL query, like create table, insert records. But in Django, we can just make a Python program to define model structure, table structure, and then we can manage it by Git. So all information are in the Git, and all are managed by program. And that's also one thing I like this framework. And just a comment. Anyway, thank you so much for the great presentation.
So just one question from me. By the way, in Django framework, we don't need to create, delete, update by ourselves. It's automatically when we create the model, right?
Can you repeat the question?
I mean, like we don't need to write the code to create, delete, update, something like this. And we just create the model. As I see, I don't see you write the code about how to create, delete, update. Seems like when you create the model, and then we can see automatically in the model that have can insert, delete, update.
Actually, in Django, we can there are multiple way. There are multiple way to do things. So if we create if in our view we use a function view, then we may need to also I'm not talking about admin. So if in our view we create our feature using the function-based view, then we will also need to manually create the function to delete or update. But if we use class-based view, then if we use delete view, it's already come with the pre-built function to delete our record in the database. We don't need to create manually write the code to delete the record by ourselves. We can just import like this. We can just import the delete view. We can just import the delete view and put our model. So we can already delete the things from our model. This is we are talking about when we manipulate our front end with this class. But for the back end, admins for the back end, we we almost or we don't need it to do anything. We just create our class in the model and register our model class into the admin. Then in the admin, we can do anything. We can do all the crap. We can create, update, delete already in the admin without write a code in the view. Yeah, that's what I understand. Or maybe our teams knows some more thing about this.
Okay, thank you. I got it.
But this is for the admin. But if we want to manipulate our models in the front end, sorry, our UL2 task. If we want to manipulate our model in the front end, then we still don't need to write our own code to delete or update. With class-based view, we can just import the class and the functionality is already there. But in the admin, it's far more pre-built than that. And yeah, and also during the presentation, I think I make it like a little fast because I think we won't have enough time, but we still don't have enough time. So any more question?
Can I have one question?
Yes, of course.
How do Django manage relationship in the table? And what about creating index? How it's managed in the database? Do you have any idea?
So first question is how Django manage a relationship in the table.
Yeah.
So
yes.
regarding a relationship, there's like one-to-one relationship and one-to-many relationship and many-to-many relationship. So to manage relationship, we can just say if it's one-to-one, we can just say one-to-one. So let me go to the model. Maybe I remove all this. So if I go to task model, so if the relationship is one-to-one, we can just define it's like one-to-one, or if it's one-to-many, we can just say like one-to-one, we can just say one-to-one, or we can say foreign key. And if it's many-to-many, we can just say many-to-many, model.many-to-many, and it will understand that we manage our relationship one-to-one or many-to-many. Is it answer to the question? So that's how we say it's one-to-one or many-to-many. We just say model.foreign key or model.many-to-many. And regarding index, so what do you refer to regarding index?
I think in MySQL, create table and we create query, and so there are a lot of record in the database. So we want to speed up the record, speed up the query. So we try to create some index to speed up the query, and how I just want to know if the Django framework can have an option for creating index or any option to speed up the query.
Mm-hmm. So I understand your question, but I don't have the answer to. So I think in Django itself, I used to read the document. It also have option to like optimize database performance, but I did not read detail yet, and I don't know detail about it yet. So, but in general, it also have the option to optimize database performance, and I never read, or maybe someone can help me answer for that question.
Yes, I have tried the index in Django application before. It supports the index option. We can add the index information. This column is first, this column is next. So yeah, it supports the index. To apply the index, we do migrate. So anyway, yeah, the answer is yes, it's supported. Thank you for the very good question.
Yes, it's a good question, because when we build a small application, we don't care. But when we build a big application, then we really need to be careful with the performance.
Yeah, I think so too.
So any more questions? So if you have no more question, let me ask one question. Do you have any feedback regarding my presentation? Like, is it fast? Is it okay? Is it I mean, any feedback regarding the presentation?
Yeah, for me, it might be a little bit too fast to understand, but yeah, because this presentation includes many things, so it might be fine. How about it for other members? Any comments, feedback?
New, but some little bit understand fast.
I cannot hear you well.
Hello.
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay. For me, your presentation is good, but it's just a new language. I never had experience with the Django framework, and it's a little bit not fast understanding yet. So I can get some point from your presentation about the Django, the workflow. Yes, and get some understanding how it's, but it's not too fast. But maybe I take to understand it more for the basic for the Django, and maybe that's how you.
Can you check your mic, because we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I think I cannot hear you clearly, but I can understand what you mean.
Yes.
So
yeah, I just feedback the presentation is good, but that's for my side is I never experience the Django framework, so I get a little bit the not understanding fast, just to get some flow about how it works. It's maybe if I try to understand it for the basically all the Django frameworks, maybe next section for your presentation, it's maybe the get more from your presentation. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I asked for feedback because at the beginning I think that maybe after this presentation everyone can write the Django, but when I do the presentation I feel myself that maybe I did not include all the detail, and it might be miss yeah, some things. So yeah, I will take all the feedback into account and I can improve later. Yeah. So maybe that's all. So that's all from me.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Naseath. Yes, thank you very much. It's really great. Yeah, we've been meeting for 1 hour now. And do we have any comment or topic? So, and regarding to the video, would we like to upload it as a public or private? Because it's a general knowledge sharing regarding to technology.
Yeah, let's make it public this time.
Yes, note Yoshida-san. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes, hope you enjoy Mr. Naseath's presentation today. Yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye
presentation.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.